Welcome back everybody, Automotive Inc. Today it's time to finally do the walk around of the new truck on the channel. If you guys saw the little snap it video, you at least got to kind of see us hooked up and ready to rock. So without further ado, we're going to get into it, and please smash the subscribe button and thumbs up and notification bell. Helps a small channel out, and please post comments down below and we'll take a look at it. So first things first, let's go over the window sticker. Alright, so here we got the 2025 Silverado LTZ Lakeshore Blue, and yes, we have a Gen 2 L5P in this one. Standard rigmarole here, and then when you step over here you can see our options. And there we go. At the Duramax we have the LTZ Premium Pack. You can see where it adds all of that stuff. We come over here, the Adaptive Cruise Safety Pack, blah blah blah. As we cruise down here, this is not a need for me, but it has them. They're actually pretty sweet. And then we can kind of see all the rest of the stuff. And Z71 badging, multi-flex tailgate, that's a must for me. Modular upfitter, we'll talk about that later in another video, but that doesn't mean the switch is on the dash. Snowplow prep and camper prep, and that increases the front gross actual weight ratio. And then another must-have is the actual roof marker lamps, for a total of $84,045. Now that's not what I paid for the truck. I actually got a discount to right around $80,500, so take that for what it's worth, but it is really dang expensive. Now, why'd I go diesel over gas? We're going to talk about that in a different video. This is basically just a walk around and the general look at it, and then we're going to break everything down in the truck, every little option, how you do it, how you run it, install it, etc. So, all right, guys. All right, so welcome, Optimus. I like this name for this truck. I always name my truck. Some people don't like it, but I do it. They said it's childish, but that's cool. I'm a child at heart. But if you remember the newer Transformer movies, I think the headlights in this blue are reminiscent of that Optimus Prime look, especially when the headlights come on. So somebody also a while back said that if they were going to do a new truck, they would want their truck, if it's going to cost so much, to be splashed with chrome. This is not a sport appearance package of any kind, so we have more chrome than anybody would know what to do with. And traditionally, chrome doesn't hold up in states with a lot of salts on the highways for winters, or mag chloride and salts here in Colorado. So take that for what it's worth. But again, I got this Lakeshore Blue, love the blue. This one's actually made in Flint, Michigan, so these blues match, so that's nice. This is the 20-inch wheel. This is my second favorite wheel from Chevy on their truck designs. And I'm not a chrome fan, but I love the look of this wheel. So if Chevy, you just make that in black, you'll be able to sell a lot more of those. My favorite is the custom wheel. Let's come around here. Of course, we have our big mirrors, power retractable steps. Come around here. I already installed the Paragon, so we'll do a video later on how to install that and review that. Did have the factory OEM fender liners, otherwise I put those in. LED taillights, multi-flex of course. This truck does have the outlet in the bed, which is nice. Again, it's just an outlet for small stuff. As we cruise around here, we did get the black interior, if you will. So you can see that right there. Like those, I'll have a video later on those. I always put them in my trucks to protect the sill guards. So this one does have the heads up. You can kind of see it over there. We have our two 10-inch displays, and again, we're gonna, or 12-inch, sorry, 12 and 12, and we'll break all of that stuff down later. This interior over the custom, I want to put a shout out to a guy named Matt. He's one of the watchers and several other people that always watch. They gave me some good advice when I was looking at that other LT. And I said it was kind of built like an LTZ. Well, I had to bite my words quite a bit, because I just meant kind of on its looks and appointments, other than a few things. But really, at the brass tacks, and those guys brought it up, is my wife can't see over the dashboard in Kong. That was her biggest problem with my 24 Custom, because it had the old interior, and they're still making it for 2025, and I would assume for 2026 it'll still be here. Higher dash and no power. I don't think I had power in Kong, but somebody said that they did have power on theirs on the passenger side, but I did have a power seat on the driver's side. So that was huge, because my wife feels comfortable actually driving this truck. So she'll come back and do her review of this here soon. But it was a good point up by those guys, and I appreciate you guys always watching, the people that come back all the time. That's so awesome for my channel and awesome for everything else. It makes me feel really nice, and I love the well thought out comments, and I like the nice comments too. They're just real short. That's great. But I really like how they're like, hey man, you know, think about the digital steering and this and that, cooled seats, power seats on this side. Huge things that I thought, man, maybe I could just deal with. But I'm glad that we held out for the LTZ, especially because we're only talking a matter of, you know, several thousands, but the amenities that you get are much better. So coming out of here, again, we got the Z71s and Ford. You need to figure out how to make a lantern like Chevy. See how it covers the whole well? That's awesome. And then especially when it comes to the back, if you guys remember Kong, I was kind of complaining about it several times, how my floor mats would shift and stuff. So, but yeah, so we're gonna have much more on this. You can see it has rear seat storage and everything. So I know you guys are basically wondering, okay, so here at Automotive Inc., we've been running gas for the last couple of years, and why the diesel? Again, we're going to break this down in further videos because there's so much to unpack on this truck. And I just love this blue, and I was leaning towards, you know, potentially going with the Ram, but then I drove the 25, and I was like, nope, I got to have the bigger interior. Thought about Ford, but after all the problems, I'm like, I don't know about Ford. Then went to Chevy, and I couldn't find an up-trim L8T gasser within like 500-mile range that was in the configuration that I liked. So I found this one at the same dealer. I was looking at the other blue one, and again, these blues match. So it's interesting that the Oshawa ones didn't and the Flint one did, but nonetheless. But why did we go with diesel? We're going to talk about that later in a later video, but it was more of the fact that Kong is still trucking down the road. That's the 24 custom L8T gas, trucking no problems. I've had two 7.3 Godzillas, and I've toted the 6.8 Babyzilla, and all of those engines do an excellent job. But there's a lot to think about when I've had so many viewers come back and say, well, diesel's still the king, it's still the only way to go. And so this Gen 2 L5P has so much change from the first version that, like I said, we're going to talk about later in another video, but it really made me say, okay, then let's run a diesel. Let's see if the extra $9, $10, $12, $13,000 they're asking for these diesels, is it really worth it over? Does this truck do much more than the gassers themselves? I've had enough diesels in my life, and I basically got tired of the regens and the issues with that potentially. And so it's just kind of like, no, we're going to go gas. And the gassers have showed up to the table and started to eat with the big boys, especially when it comes to tow ratings and everything like that. So again, guys, make sure you subscribe so you know when I'm posting new stuff. Subscribing is free, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.